We have in today's newspaper an advertisement to put infrastructure and the first phase of 6 special economic zones in Kenya that have already been gazetted. The 6 special economic zones are targeting opportunities like the one my brother here is talking about. Export-led, incentivized investments. We are targeting FDI on one side. We are targeting exports of different products on the other hand, and we are building an ecosystem that will facilitate, fast track, enable that to happen fast. So we have a special economic zone here in Thika, we have one in Sagana, we have one in Nakuru, we have Dongo Kundu, we have Naivasha, we have Busia, we have Eldoret. We are looking at other opportunities in different parts of Kenya. So, but it has to be targeted, and we need to know what are we trying to achieve. For example, the one in Thika, our focus is going to be pharmaceutical companies. We want to be specific so that, because we still import 70% of our pharmaceutical commodities and products to Kenya. And it is part of the reason why I was having a conversation last week with Prime Minister Modi, because we are importing almost 50% of all those products from India. And my conversation with him was, we cannot continue doing this. He has to mobilize his companies to come and invest in Kenya with Kenyan companies, to employ Kenyans, and to produce products for Kenya and for Africa from Nairobi. Leather is one of the lowest hanging fruits that we have. Why? Kenya is the 3rd largest holder of livestock in Africa. We have the 3rd largest herd, Kenya. And we are still importing everything leather. What are we doing with our, and by the way, we slaughter about 3 million heads of livestock every year, from cows to camels and sheep and goats. This year, we have money in the budget specifically for leather. We are finalizing 3 tanneries. We are investing in completing 3 tanneries, one in KENYAN here, another one in Narok, and one more place. It is the reason, and I say this with a lot of clarity, it is the reason why, again, today, our PS, Principal Secretary for Livestock, is in India. Because I had a conversation with Prime Minister Modi on their Leather Institute and Footwear Institute, and how we can create a partnership. And I promised him that I would send my PS to sit down with what is going on in India, because there is a lot we can leverage on technology. There is a lot we can work with other stakeholders. And my intention is that, and I have said it publicly, we must have a sunset clause on the day we are going to be importing shoes into Kenya. We must produce leather products from Kenya, because we have the leather, we have the hides and skin in plenty, we have the human capital at home, we have the market in Kenya. It is also said that lies go around the world maybe twice before the truth are put on their shoes. And we have a democracy, which we celebrate. And Kenya is a great country, a great democracy. And because we are democratic, everybody speaks whatever they want. Everybody says even the untruths, that fly all over the place. And that is good. It is up to us to put our story across. But it is up to us more than talking, doing. And I am very focused on making sure that we do what we have to do. I am very confident in the peoples of Kenya understanding and appreciating where we need to go. That's why I was elected. I am very confident that we are going to change this country, and the bumps that we have, the challenges that we have. For example, the example I just gave here. I mean, people are fighting housing when the results are very clear. I even saw the other day the leader of opposition saying, "Why is Ruto exporting too many people from Kenya?" I mean, is that really something we should be having a conversation about? We have the single asset that we have as a country is our human capital. We have the best human capital anywhere in the world. And you use what you have. We don't have gold. We may not have big gold mines, but we have our human capital. How do we deploy it to use it as a resource to grow our economy? We are concluding discussions with Saudi, for example, so that we stop sending domestic workers. We send skilled workers. We send professionals because there are huge opportunities. We're concluding, I had a conversation with Chancellor Scholz. They need 250,000 people to work. We are concluding the bilateral labor agreement with Germany. It is one KPI that I intend to conclude, so that again we can export labor. We can expand opportunities. We can connect Kenyans with opportunities globally. You guys in the diaspora have already demonstrated a great job that you have done investing in Kenya. We want to expand those opportunities. So what I am saying is we are doing more, speaking less, because shortly what we are doing will speak for itself. We may not need to say much. The people themselves will begin to see change happening in Kenya. Kenya is a great tech ecosystem. We have young people. We have an ecosystem that actually has huge talent, enormous expertise, creative, innovative people. And that potential, unless it's turned into opportunity and monetized, becomes a waste. And it is the reason why we have, as one of the pillars of this administration, a digital superhighway with all the attendant issues around it. We want to use the technology, we want to use the digital space to use it as an enabler of all the other government services, whether we are discussing agriculture, whether we are discussing health, whether we are discussing manufacturing. Technology and the digital space is going to be our greatest enabler. It is the reason why we made the deliberate decision that we want every government service first to be on the digital space. We now have close to 90% of government services in the digital space. Last year, we had only 350 government services. Today, we have 14,000. And we are continuing to discover some more. In fact, when we started, we thought we had 10,000 government services. We discovered that there were more than 10,000 because of what my good brother there has said, data. Now we are building a bigger ecosystem of data. We can make decisions with clarity. We can make decisions with specificity. You know, we can know we are intervening here. Let me give you an example. We decided to register all farmers. 5,000 farmers of them we now have on our digital space. And we decided for the first time to distribute fertilizer using an e-voucher. The results are amazing. For the first time, we didn't have the kind of pilferage, theft, corruption that always accompany distribution of fertilizer. So we are already getting value for leveraging on technology. Let me also say that, Konza and the Silicon Savannah is not a place. It is not a river. It is a mindset. It's a whole, it's a whole thinking. So, sometimes I find people, they go and lock themselves up in at the river. That's that's not what it is. It is the whole ecosystem that we are building around technology. In fact, we just found partners to do the data centers, which will be in Naivasha. We are leveraging on the green energy to sell data centers as a green product from Kenya. It is the only place you will have green data, and we are going to make this available globally. So that whole space, I don't know, I think I have said too many things. I'm just trying to give you the buffet of what we are doing in the technology and digital space. Just before I came to this meeting, we were having a conversation with my CS for health on how we are going to digitize, actually the journey for digitization of our health records. Because we need to make health records portable. We need to make the whole health ecosystem, from commodities, prescriptions, claims, interoperable, so that it becomes a lot easier. And in the process, we will gather a lot of data on prevalence of diseases, what do we do with our commodities. KEMSA is going to be a different place after we digitize that whole ecosystem. In fact, by June next year, you will have a different experience with our health provision, again, because of technology. And that's the reason why we have big pushback from people who do not want us to digitize health. That's why they've gone to court. They want to stop us because they run remote hospitals that do not exist. We were being briefed about a hospital in Kinoo that is doing more surgeries than Aga Khan and Nairobi Hospital combined. So I sent my CS, can you go and look at this miracle place? And those are the people who have gone to court because they don't want us to digitize the space so that they can continue to game NHIF. I promise you, we will stop them. And we are going to digitize this place.